Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Mayday Morning Show. I'm Michelle Kinney. I'm here with my friend Julie Roginski. We're starting a little late today because we had some elements that we had to make sure that we had to show and share with all of you because not even Thanksgiving protects us or shields us from Donald Trump and the Republican Party's nightmare. Just chaos nonstop. Julie, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was actually very nice. We went to my husband's brother's house, and his other brothers and were there, and all of our sister-in-law and some of their kids. And you know, my husband, it's so interesting because I come from this crazy kind of Russian Jewish family where everybody's
Mm,
always emotional around each other,
yeah,
good or bad.
right.
He comes from a very quiet, normal
Very
American family.
Catholic and yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
very different. It's very interesting to it's a very it's a very interesting sociological experiment to see what happened on Wednesday when we had my parents and my aunt over to my house, to our house here. And then yesterday went over to my brother-in-law's house. They were both wonderful. We had two
Right.
Thanksgivings, one with my family on Wednesday, one with my husband's family on Thursday, and both were wonderful, very different in their own right. What about you?
Well, we had a lovely Thanksgiving. It was my parents, my mother and father-in-law, and then Joe. So we just, the turkey. I did the turkey. I did the mashed potatoes. My mom did everything else. It's just quiet. It snowed a lot.
Did?
Yeah, I have a picture actually. This is the backyard right now.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm looking at
That's
right here.
beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely. It's a lovely view, but it was like, ooh, it's winter is here.
You're basically in
Um,
Canada. I always laugh when I always think about where you are. You are in Canada. Like, you live in the Everglades.
essentially. I
You
mean,
live
honestly,
in
from the top of the hill, you can see
You can see
Canada.
Canada from your house?
It's far, like, but
Yeah.
there's this thing along the river where you can see these windmills, and so every time I can see the teeny tiny windmills, I was like, "There's Canada, it's right there."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
So, but it's funny when you say the difference between your two families. I think of my big fat Greek wedding.
Yeah.
When she's like the Greek family is all like big and loud and all up in each other's faces and touching each other, and then she goes to her boyfriend's parents' house for dinner, and it's just the four of them, and they're just kind of like quietly.
It's not quite that way, but it's like there's no craziness. Everybody's just
Mm.
and
It's just kind of mellow.
yeah, what's awesome about my in-laws is that they all, much like my husband, have this very dry, hilarious sense of humor.
Hmm.
So you're like talking to them and everybody's just kind of, it's they're great. I can't complain. Like, I'm one of the only people on earth who cannot complain about her in-laws and actually likes my in-laws very much. So that part was good. But then we got back last night to the very devastating news, Michelle,
Mm,
that one of the two National Guardsmen who were shot, she passed away at the
yes.
age of 20. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, and the other,
Yeah,
the other
Andrew Wolf, who's
Angela,
24, is
yeah.
fighting for his life because the injuries that have been inflicted on both of them are. It's a miracle that either of them lived at all. Um, it's a horrible, horrible thing that has happened, and they should have been home with their families, but instead, Donald Trump deployed the National Guard unlawfully for political purposes to the city of Washington, D.C. And these people, instead of milling about the city, picking up trash and doing God knows what else, these people, the thing about the National Guard too, these are regular people. These are regular people who join the National Guard, whether it be to serve their country or they wanted other source of income, whatever it is. And the National Guard is in place for emergencies, disasters, um, and I just can't emphasize it enough. These people should have been home with their families, not in Washington, D.C., serving Donald Trump's political purposes and ego. Like, this is just awful and ridiculous, and this shouldn't have happened. And my heart breaks My heart breaks for this young woman's family. It's just horrible.
There's so much to unpack here. As you said, they should not have been here. The Afghan program under which the alleged shooter came um, is a good program. I just want to be very
Mhm.
clear on that.
Yes, yes.
This alleged killer um, served this country, helped this country by working well, not allegedly, the head of the CIA said so, worked with the CIA in Kandahar
Mhm.
province in Afghanistan to advance whatever our interests were in Kandahar and in Afghanistan while we were there. He, along with many others, were given an opportunity to come live in this country. He was vetted. I want to be very clear. He was vetted
Mhm.
before he came here, despite what the president says. And he arrived here last year, or several years ago, excuse me, under the Biden
2021, yeah. Mhm.
but was given permission to apply for asylum, basically was given
Mhm.
asylum under the Trump administration. Um, I for one don't think there's any blame to go around for anybody because
Right.
he came here under a program that I think is very important to
Mhm.
maintain for a number of reasons. It is important to maintain first and foremost because these people risk their lives to help us, and if they go back to Afghanistan, they will be
Yeah.
murdered or otherwise tortured by the Taliban.
Mhm.
Second, it is important because the next time we go to war, and it looks like we might be going to war in Venezuela for reasons that are insane,
Yeah.
but the next time we have a military deployment anywhere, we will need people to help us who are in country. And those people are what is known as humans, human intelligence, right? Like they can
Mhm.
gather intelligence in ways that we cannot because um, they are locals and we are not.
Right.
These are interpreters who can help us while we kick down doors. These are people who provide whatever this man provided for the CIA,
Mhm.
all of which is critical and none of which we can do without the help of the native population. And if we
Mhm.
are to deport people back to Afghanistan to their deaths right now who helped us,
Mhm.
which is what Donald Trump is now proposing to do, people who have come here with their children, who have become Americanized, who have enrolled their kids in schools, who are good, upstanding citizens, who have done nothing wrong because one guy
Yeah.
nuts.
Right.
It will tell the rest of the world that we are not to be trusted and that they should not work with us when and if we ever show up in their country. And it'll put thousands, if not tens of thousands of American lives at risk.
You're absolutely right.
And we will have no alliances. I mean, look at what we're doing. We are giving the middle finger to regular people
Mhm.
helped us when we were attacked, went to their country and they helped us.
Exactly. Exactly.
We
And
are
we, for 20 years,
for, for 20 years. We
put
are
these people. Well, and the shooter, what was it, 20, what was he, 29 or 28 years old or something like that? Think about how old he was probably when 9/11 even happened. He was a child. You know what I mean? I was thinking about that yesterday and what his entire life experience must have been leading up to then, you know, working with the CIA. And only time will tell what if when and if or what if there was any motive here other than just, you know, snapping and losing their mind. Because I mean, what could a motive be to just walk up to two innocent people on the
sad.
street and do this? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Well, apparently, according to somebody who knew him back in Afghanistan, he was part of a unit
mhm,
that was asked to do some pretty atrocious things.
mm,
He had tremendous PTSD and he was not well. Um, what he did is inexcusable. Nobody is saying that he should not be punished for it if in
oh,
fact,
certainly not. Yeah.
However, Trump now has said that he's not only revisiting, um, basically, he's re-examining, quote unquote, every green card holder held by immigrants, not just from Afghanistan, but 18 other countries on which he imposed a travel ban back in June. Haiti, countries that have nothing to do with this.
Right.
And he is now going to deport all of those people. What do they all have in common? They're not white.
You know, they never let an opportunity go to waste or a
Ever,
tragedy go to waste. And
ever.
and they this is again where I get enraged at the opposition, at the Democrats, because, and people, oh, they're not the problem. Well, you know, no, they're not the ones doing this. They're not Donald Trump, but they're sitting there and not saying anything. They're so afraid to say anything or to push back in these moments that it feels, yes, because it is inappropriate to do these things. But that's not the time we are living in. We are living in a time where if you are not getting out and telling the truth and setting a narrative here about what is actually going on, because Donald Trump and the Republicans wasted absolutely no time to set a narrative, to talk about blocking refugees or asylum seekers. I mean, like, they take advantage of every tragedy to their own benefit to hurt more people. They don't stop. But again, like, the Democrats or anybody in opposition, right? Anybody who's anti-Trump or anti-fascist, what's going on here, should have said and stated the obvious from the get-go. These people should not even be in Washington, D.C. They should not have been there. This
Listen,
was for political gain only. That was it.
let me tell you something, because I think this is important. We touched on this yesterday,
Yeah.
and it's insane. I think the cumulative effect here of everything the Democrats are not talking about or doing,
Mm-hmm.
that we've now become a party that rarely articulates a proactive identity rooting in small d democratic values.
Mm-hmm.
And, after Trump, immediately after the shooting, framed it as a quote act of terror when another tirade against immigration vowed to crack down even further in deportation, he ordered another 500 National Guard troops to the nation's capital in order to redouble his mass deportation efforts. You know, where are the Democrats to push back on this? Where are the Democrats to push back on this?
Right. Well, and someone in the chat is saying a retired major general has been out addressing this. Okay, that's great. There should be a more collective and coordinated response. And this is where I get so frustrated and I get so angry, because our only other option is this. It's Donald Trump or this. And so this needs to be, or needs to show the rest of the world, for God's sakes, that we're out here trying to stop it. And I just, this is where I'm like, I get that it was the holiday. People, oh, I'm home with my families. Great. Okay. You're home with your families. And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. You were all home with your families. These people were not. And for that reason, they were, it's, it infuriates me. And here's the other thing too, is last night at like 11:30, Donald Trump, in his usual Donald Trump self, was on Truth Social spewing just, I can't even. This is what he said. Actually, let me take this banner down so I can read the whole thing. A very happy Thanksgiving salutation to all of our great American citizens and patriots who have been so nice in allowing our country to be divided, disrupted, carved up, murdered, beaten, mugged, and laughed at, along with certain other foolish countries throughout the world for being, quote, politically correct and just plain stupid when it comes to immigration. The official United States foreign population stands at 53 million people, census. There's no chance he wrote this. Most of which are on welfare from failed nations or from prisons, mental institution, gangs, or drug cartels. They and their children are supported through massive payments through patriotic American citizens who, because of their beautiful hearts, do not want to openly complain or cause trouble in any way, shape, or form. They put up with what has happened to our country, but it's eating them alive to do so. A migrant earning $30,000 with a green card will get roughly $50,000. I can't state enough how incorrect all of this is. $50,000 in yearly benefits for their family. The real migrant population is much higher. This refugee burden is the leading cause of social dysfunction in America. That is also not true.
Not true.
something that did not exist after World War II: failed schools, high crime, urban decay, overcrowded hospitals, housing shortages, and large deficits. As an example, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Again, this is not true.
False. False.
False. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for, quote, prey, as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope that they will be left alone. The seriously R-worded, because I will not say that word, R-worded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman slash woman, oh my God, in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in her swaddling hijab, I can't, hijab, and who probably came into the USA illegally, and that you are not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hatefully complain about our country, its constitution, how badly she is treated, when her place of origin is a decadent, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, and schools. I cannot emphasize enough
How insane this is.
how insane and incorrect and full of lies and spewing racism and xenophobia this entire statement is. That being said, he is the president of the United States, and it is important that we all know what he says, because it does matter, unfortunately. And that is what our president was sending out into the world at 11:30 last night on Thanksgiving.
I also want to point out um, what he did after, oh boy, after he was asked about this man who did the shooting. And Trump went on this whole tirade about the Biden administration and how the shooter was unvetted and that he was, terrible. And this reporter, this female reporter, and it's
Always.
important to say,
Always.
it's important to say, first of all, it's the women who are always holding him to account.
Mhm.
And second, that it's the women he always goes after. This reporter asked him, but Mr. President, he was vetted.
Mhm.
He was vetted and basically fact checked him. And can we play that clip of what
Yep.
he said after she fact checked him?
Yep, here we go.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
A question about this tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens too. It happens too often with these people. You see them. But look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because
for
they
what
let them
this man
in.
did?
Are you stupid? Are you
No.
a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came in on big planes, and it was disgraceful. And if you look, you'll see there was a law passed. It makes it almost impossible not to let them in, not to certify them, so to speak, once they come in. And they came in, and they shouldn't have come in.
Okay, I have so many things to say about this. First of all of that is a lie. That goes without saying. But I think what's relevant here is not one person standing next to this female reporter that asked this question stood up for her.
Nobody.
And nobody ever stands up for anybody in that fucking press corps, sorry, Dad, when he calls a female reporter Miss Piggy, when he called yesterday a female reporter in the New York Times ugly, and when he goes after female reporter based on their intelligence and based on their looks, something he never does to male reporters. And
No.
I'm sick of it. And I want to know what the hell is going on with the White House Press Association. And aside from the fact that they throw a hell of a party every year,
Yeah.
they don't do much if they're not going to stand up for each other.
No, what's the point?
What's
the point?
what do you guys exist to do? Why doesn't every listen? That press pool now is infected with a bunch of MAGA people.
Oh, it's Jack Posobiec, Benny Johnson, Tim Pool. I mean, come on.
They're there to basically fluff the president.
Yes.
But there are still people, legitimate people, who are in that press pool. And why don't they all band together and keep asking the question? If he goes after one reporter and refuses to answer the question based on her intelligence and based on her looks, why don't the rest of them scrap whatever questions they have and keep asking that reporter that question over and over again? Well, no, Mr. President, they were vetted. And the problem here is that they're so into access journalism that they're afraid of getting kicked out of the White House.
Yes.
That's all it is. They're just afraid of getting kicked out.
To which I'm like, you know what? Then let him kick everybody out. I mean, this is what they've done with the Pentagon for the first time in history. We don't have, a press pool for the Pentagon reporting on our defense and military and national security, which is insane. But this is like, they're not doing, what are we finding out anyways in these rooms that we wouldn't be finding out regardless? Just stand up, just do the right thing, just speak up and fight back. If they kick you out, they kick you out. That's kind of, and then let him kick out the New York Times, let him kick out the Washington Post and the Atlantic, or whomever else is there, AP, Reuters, because at this point, it's like a free press is a very important pillar of a free society and a democracy. And if we don't have a free press, because right now that in its current state really isn't, what's everybody doing? What is everyone doing? I
don't get
it's
it.
really depressing, Julie. I know this is the time of year we're all supposed to be thankful and feeling good. And, to a degree I do. And I know we all do. And we're thankful for the things that we have. But I got to say, this time last year, after the election, going into the holiday season, I remember having this feeling of dread, knowing what we were about to walk into. And a bunch of other people in this country thinking, well, it's not going to be as bad as everybody says it's going to be.
It's been worse.
Yeah. And I'm like, you and I, people like us, we were like, it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. He's going to go after people. He's going to kill the press. And here we are a year later, and things are honestly worse than even I thought that they would be. And I am a pessimist. Truly.
I got to put on my glasses here to see the comments, but look, he's mentally deranged. He is mentally deranged. He tweeted out yesterday that we should change the name of the Republican Party to Trump. I don't even know. It's like basically Trumplicans.
Oh my God.
And Donald Trump
I didn't see that.
I mean, here's the thing.
They should.
They should. And if you're and then I don't know if you saw this a couple of days ago, Mike Johnson and his wife do this completely whiny ass
bitches
interview about how hard it is to be Mike Johnson.
Oh, is it hard to be Mike Johnson? Oh no.
He hasn't had a day off in 2 years.
Oh, is it too bad?
Really hard. And poor Mike Johnson, he used to have a life, and now even on Christmas.
Oh, and I just had to give all of that up to serve my country and Donald Trump. And to be a little bitch is what it is.
And I saw that interview and I was like, what am I watching here? You are cutting Medicaid from people in nursing homes. You are gutting healthcare.
It's a hard job to do.
You're gutting healthcare for people. You are gutting Obamacare subsidies for people. You are gutting research for people. I mean, they have cut research for Alzheimer's. They've cut research for cancer.
Yeah.
I mean, we are so close to finding cures for these diseases, and we all know people who are suffering from them, and they're gutting this research. And it's hard to be Mike Johnson.
It's hard to be Mike Johnson. It's hard to be Mike Johnson.
I mean, you try being, you know how hard it is to have to be dying of cancer like Tatiana Schlossberg is?
He does not care. This man, listen, for all the spewing of, oh, I'm a little great Christian. He is such a hypocrite. So many conservatives like Mike Johnson who go around spewing Christianity and I'm, America's greatest Christian. They never are. They're all hypocrites. They're cruel, awful people. And they're hurting people. And if anything, maybe he's so busy that he doesn't need his son to be monitoring his porn intake. Which people, if you don't know that story, he and his son, he said this is before he was Speaker of the House, in an interview, talked about how he and his son monitor each other's porn intake so that they don't watch too much of it. And now here he is as Speaker of the House trying to tell everybody else how to live their life and what they can have and what they cannot have. And he has rendered Congress, or at least the House of Representatives, useless. Just completely useless. They are an arm of the Trump administration and nothing else. That is it. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
I mean, listen, and yet you have, let's not spare a thought. Let's not forget to spare a thought for the Democratic Party, right? Because they're just cowering. They're just doing
that's
nothing.
the thing. I'm just like, and every time we hold them to account, Julie, without fail, there's always a few comments or somebody, don't go out to the Democrats. I'm so tired of people trashing the Democrats. I'm like, okay, then what would you rather? What do you want
I'm
me to
sorry.
do?
If somebody
What do you want me to do?
if somebody has an addiction, are you going to enable them or are you going to get them help?
Right.
Because let me tell you something. And this, I hate to say this, I wrote a Substack about this, but I did write a Substack about this today. Politics abhors a vacuum. It abhors a vacuum. And when Democrats refuse to define their values on things like counterterrorism, on things like immigration, on things like democracy, the Republicans do it for them. And then the label sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So while Chuck Schumer is doing this, I can't do as well as Michelle does it.
If only, I left my glasses.
Yeah.
Actually, my dad's glasses are right here.
He doesn't define, do your Schumer, because you do it so well. But it's there you go. That's Chuck Schumer.
Well,
Yeah. And it's just like, at which point
we're gonna go out, we're gonna fight for you.
yeah,
that's the extent.
That's the extent of it.
Chuck Schumer. Honestly, honest to God, it's so, and here's the other thing: the lack of imagination and forward thinking here. Okay, because Donald Trump will die eventually. He is in bad health. He's in poor health. He's 79 years old. He's not going to live forever. He is a cockroach up until this point, but Trump isn't forever. So there are people already in the wings planning to fill the void when he leaves. And my fear is that it's going to be the Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene alliance. Nick Fuentes just said recently that when we take power, and he's saying this, when we take power, they're going to use the military to go into major cities and keep women from voting, physically withhold them from casting votes on election day. You think these people are kidding? They are not trolling. They are serious. This is what we're up against. This isn't even the worst that it can get. And this is, again, believe them. They're telling you what they're going to do. Believe them. Believe them the first time, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, the first. The lack of imagination is a dangerous, dangerous thing. And I'm so angry today. So angry. Well, you know what else? And here's another thing, the cruelty of all of this, right? You were saying about Mike Johnson, like, oh, you're working so hard. I know it's so hard to take cancer treatment and research and vaccines and healthcare subsidies and all kinds of things away from people. It's hard work. But listen, the head of the snake here of the cruelty is Donald Trump. And this is something that you and I have talked about a lot. That this man, there is no, oh, well, he must care about. No. He cares about no one but himself. Everything is about him. He was asked also in the same press conference if he was going to be attending the funeral of the National Guardswoman who passed away yesterday.
Is obviously here, but do you plan to attend Sarah's funeral?
I haven't thought about it yet, but it certainly is something I could conceive of. I love West Virginia. I won West Virginia by one of the biggest margins of any president anywhere. And it's, these are great people. I love the people of West Virginia. I love the people of our country. but I haven't given it any thought, but it sounds like something I could do, yeah. It's very raw.
So, are you going to attend the funeral of the National Guardswoman who you sent into Washington, D.C. unlawfully? He made it about himself. He said, I won West Virginia. I like the people of West Virginia. That is where his brain goes. That is where his brain goes.
It's all about him. It's like after 9/11, during the greatest tragedy that
Yes.
felt our nation since Pearl Harbor, Donald Trump said immediately, now I have the tallest building in downtown Manhattan. False, by the way, but that's where his mind goes.
Yes.
I mean, it's all about him. He's pathologically ill. He doesn't care this woman died. This is the part that actually should scare all of us,
Mhm.
is that he doesn't actually care. He doesn't give a damn about the loss of life.
And this is where my brain goes to like the crazy place anytime something bad happens, because I don't put it past him and the people around him to do the worst imaginable things in order to put forward their own agenda. I think that look at what they're doing, even just in a roundabout way. With USAID, 600,000 people are dead around the world, most of which are children. They don't care. Like, these people do not care about anyone. Look what they're doing to people with cancer, with people. They cut SNAP benefits and then had what's her face on TV, the Secretary of whatever, Agriculture, whatever it was, going on saying that SNAP was a corrupt and terrible agency and blah 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 blah. Like, it's just. There is nothing about these people. And here's the other thing, just another Republican, just to throw this up, not to get on a thing about Venezuela. But I saw this on my Instagram this morning. U.S. Representative Maria Salazar from Florida. Venezuela for the American oil companies will be a field day. I mean, this is how these people think about things. Everything is for their benefit. They don't care who it hurts. And sometimes they get off on who it hurts. That's the other part of this. And I think to Donald Trump's, West Virginia, they voted for me. But like, again, Mark Esper telling Norah O'Donnell on 60 Minutes that he said, why can't we just shoot the protesters? This is who this man is, and everyone around him is just as bad. I mean, and again, back to the cruelty and the lack of humanity that oozes from this man. You'd think that the mother of his children, Ivana Trump, when she died, buried her on his golf course and didn't even put a grave marker on it for months.
For a tax break.
For tax break. He is the worst person. And I don't understand how people still don't see this.
And the kids were okay with this.
Yeah.
I mean,
But at the same time, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Fight their dad? Because then they're like, okay, well, if I argue with dad, then I'm going to lose.
About your mom? Yeah. I would fight my dad if he wanted to bury my mom on some golf course for a tax break. Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah. A psychopath. He's a psychopath.
It's your mom. Like, this is the woman who raised you, by the way, when your dad decided he was going to go off and, bang underage models.
Listen, this is why nothing in the Epstein files, none of this, and this is, again, where the media is failing us, Julie, and we talk about this all the time, is that each of these stories is not singular and should not be reported singularly as standalone stories. All of this relates back to something else in a bigger picture story. There should be a 30,000-foot view of every single one of these stories. And instead it's just drip, 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 drip in their storytelling. But there is a bigger narrative, and there's a bigger picture destruction happening to this country, and a sickness and a cancer that is eating us from inside. And until we address that and really face it and hold a mirror up to ourselves, and again, the free press doing that or helping us do that,
the press has fallen down on this so much because all they're doing is chasing these stories one by one.
Yep.
Everything's a story. Everything's a crisis. And when everything is a crisis, which is what Donald Trump wants it to be, especially in the lead up to the quote unquote release of the Epstein files, which I personally don't believe will ever be fully released. But he's going to create these crises or take opportunity of crises that are created because they are, like the shooting. And he is going to do that, and the press is going to chase them individually rather than stepping back and saying, this is all part of one thing and one thing only. This man is a dictator, or at least he's desperately trying to be. I mean, he's trying to change the name of the Republican Party to his own. He's trying to brand the Republican
Yeah,
Party.
talk a little bit more about that, because because I didn't see that, and like, when did he say this? Did he say this yesterday?
Yeah, like in the middle of the night.
Okay, all
Um,
right,
Try to pull this up. Yeah.
yeah,
But-
because I googled it too, and I couldn't find a clip or anything.
And yeah, here it is. 2 days ago. Sorry. He tweeted out on November 26th, that was the day before Thanksgiving, at 10:29 a.m. There's a new word for a Trump Republican, which is almost everyone. Great policy is the key. It is T-Publican or T-Publican. And
Listen, do
and,
it.
and
'Cause
Donald
it's-
Trump Jr., of course, truths back. Is it T-Publican or what does he say? Trumplican or something? And the whole notion of this is, it's kind of funny, it sounds stupid, but what he's trying to do is put his name as a brand on the
Yes.
Republican Party so
Yes,
that
this
it
is
will,
what he does. It's Trump steaks. It's Trump vodka. It's Trump University.
By
It's
the
like
way,
now it's
all
going to be Trump
failed.
Republican.
all failed.
Yes, yes. Again, again, this is where I'm like, this man has filed for bankruptcy. How many times? He has bankrupted casinos. Everything he touches is destroyed. Everything he touches dies. What makes people think that he has the best interest of this country or any of us in his mind or in his heart?
Yeah,
Nothing.
it's amazing. It's
Yeah, and
amazing.
so you've got people like Stephen Miller and Russ Vought and Kristi Noem, all of these people around him for their own reasons, their own like sadistic reasons. Stephen Miller and Russ Vought specifically, and they use Donald Trump's, sociopathic and psychotic, narcissist disorder and sickness in order to get it all done. I mean, like it's there. These people are soulless. And it's really hard to look down the barrel of the holidays and see everything in front of us when we can't even go out and feel like we can shop for our families without feeling like it's exhausting. Like I was thinking about this because today's Black Friday. This is the big day where everybody goes shopping and everything.
Oh, I don't.
We can't.
Don't.
We can't.
Don't.
We cannot participate in the overall large corporate economy this year for the holidays. We just can't. And this is where I have been saying to my husband and others, like, shop small or not at all. Like, Saturday is Small Business Saturday. I implore people to go out and shop locally from small businesses, small creators, because we cannot participate in an economy that is held up by the people making this happen. And that is Amazon and Jeff Bezos. It's a long list.
Amazon,
it's a long list.
Apple, it's all of them.
Yeah.
It's all of them. And I'm going to Philadelphia today. I'm taking my family to Philly today to explore because we never go there and we don't live that far. Our house is not that far from Philly. So like, I'm not going shopping, and I strongly urge everybody else not to go shopping today either, because these are people who are contributing to his bullshit, including the East Wing, which they're all sponsoring. The destruction of the East Wing, I should say.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Just don't do it. Just don't.
No. And listen, it's the almighty dollar. It's the only thing that moves these people. Like, look when Jimmy Kimmel, right, was taken off air, it was the American people, the righteous anger of the American people saying, not today, not on my watch. Everyone canceled their Hulu subscriptions and Disney Plus, and there was outrage. And for that reason only did ABC put him back on air. That was it. And also celebrities going to the studio saying, I will never work with you again. I will never do. This is the only thing that these people here are dollar signs. And, the irony here is that capitalism, so much of capitalism is what got us here in the first place, but it might be the thing that saves us also. If there is enough commitment from everyday Americans to be able to put themselves in uncomfortable, or inconvenient situations where we're not shopping at Amazon and things like that. Because listen, we're addicted to convenience. We all are. I am.
Mhm.
And it's a matter of like, can we all collectively say no for long enough to make a difference? Time will tell. And I hope that this Christmas people really, really make conscious decisions, but I don't know if they will. And but the fact that we have to do it at all is infuriating.
Mhm.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Like, everything is ruined. Everything. You can't even enjoy a baseball game or a football game without looking around and being like, Trump, Trumper. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I go through the players and I'm like, oh, that guy. Everything, it's like you see everything through that lens now, and it sucks. It sucks.
I don't know. I mean, listen, here's the part that sucks. It's the holiday season. We should be not talking about this guy.
Yeah.
We should be thinking about something else, but he's all encompassing and he's awful. And what happened in Washington, I'll say it, and you've said it, because this Democratic Party will not say it. Our leaders will not say it. Our leaders will be standing up today.
Yes.
Today. I don't know where Chuck Schumer is, but he better get his ass back to the Hill right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Hakeem Jeffries and their entire leadership team, and they need to say explicitly, this woman died in vain. She should have been home in West Virginia with her family. But instead, she was in Washington.
Yep.
For Donald Trump's politically expedient purposes.
And Donald Trump, and by the way, the governor of West Virginia, right, who allowed them to also be there.
Yes. If I were the governor of West Virginia, like, now Trump is saying he's going to send thousands of more or hundreds of more troops into Washington.
So you can put more people in danger? Okay.
But from where? Like, that's what I want to know. Like, which governor is going to say, you know what? Yes, we're going to do a surge on. Like, we talked about this before. They're not, I don't know what they're there to do. If they're there to clean up Washington and clean up crime, first of all, it's not their job. They're not the cops. But second, like, maybe we should fund the police department.
Like, adopt the highway. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, like, they're not even in the parts of Washington where the crime is.
Right.
We talked about this the other day.
Right.
They are
79 Northwest is like one of the loveliest, safest, most patrolled, surveilled areas of the city.
It's like the downtown business district.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, he's just sacrificing these people because he doesn't care. He's sacrificing fishermen on boats in off the coast of Venezuela because he doesn't care. There's no cost to human life for somebody like him. He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He thrives and gets off on the fact that he can push a button and people can die.
Well, right. And again, like, reasonable people look at these situations. Listen, no one's gonna have somebody killed. You want to bet? You want to bet? Of course they are. I mean, even look at Jeffrey Epstein, right? And Ghislaine Maxwell, the way that they would threaten people. If you talk, I'm going to go after your family. I'm going to have you killed. I'm going to do. And Katie Johnson, remember the young woman who filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump for rape when she was 13 years old. In the filing says that they said that they told her that they were going to kill her. And this is where I'm like, you think that these people haven't done this already? Of course they have. I'm sure there's people who are like missing somewhere in the world. That these people do not care. They only care about themselves, and they will do anything to protect themselves or for political gain or financial gain, whatever it is. Steve Witkoff, on behalf of himself and his own business interests, like talking to our adversaries about how to get what they want out of our government so that they'll give him money. I mean, my God.
And I have to say, and then you have the spy. Like, let's also discuss the spineless Republicans, right? Because you have people like, I'll give you a great example. You have people like Don Bacon. Don Bacon is from Oklahoma. Don Bacon is retiring because Don Bacon does not think he's going to election next year.
He was part of that Biden 18. Remember, they were like,
he's got nothing to lose. His career in Washington is over. Don Bacon is a former military guy. Don Bacon is, sorry, he's from Nebraska. Oh my God, I meant Omaha. I didn't mean Oklahoma. Sorry, he's from Nebraska. He's a retired brigadier general of the United States Air Force. Like, what are you scared of, Congressman? And this is what
Mhm.
Don Bacon tweets out yesterday. Ready? I
Oh,
don't
God.
trust any leader or negotiator who doesn't know that Putin is a war criminal, murdered his rivals, is a dictator, and initiated this war with Ukraine. Neither should you. Hey, Don Bacon.
Name
Which leader?
names.
Name him. I don't trust any
Who?
leader. Yeah, his name is Donald Trump. I don't trust any negotiator.
Donald
His name
Trump,
is
Steve Wickoff,
Steve Witkoff. That's what you're talking about.
Jared Kushner, let's
But
go.
That's
Say
what
it.
that's what you're talking about. What's so hard about saying it? We're saying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is so hard about calling these people out? What are you scared of?
Yeah.
Why
I'm like,
are you doing this? Why
right.
is the press not doing this? By not standing up for their colleagues when they ask legitimate questions. The question where that woman was called stupid was actually a very good question. Hey, Mr. President, this guy
Mhm.
was vetted
Yeah.
and he got a
What
green
do you have
card.
to say about that?
He
Right.
got asylum here on your watch. So what are you talking about?
Mhm.
You're lying. That's basically what
Listen,
she's saying.
it's
Nobody's
like,
sticking up for her. And
right.
and
Nobody.
Chuck
Nobody.
Schumer is not in DC today saying this is bullshit. This
Mhm.
woman died in vain. You know why? Because they don't want to be swift voted. It's what I said yesterday. They have such a hangover from the 2004 campaign that they don't know how to communicate because they're terrified that whatever they say is going to be turned around and used against them. Well, guess what, gentlemen?
To which I
It's
say,
happening anyway.
let them. They're
Let
gonna
them.
do it anyways. My God. Let them say what they're gonna say. Because you know what the American people respond to? Authenticity and people who fight back. And if you do those two things, it like every day I ask myself, why do these people run for office if they have no intention in doing the right thing and helping this
To get
country?
the lapel pin, and to have people
Honest to
in
God.
Congress. I mean, like that's basically what they're running for. Like Don Bacon, of all people, you are
Yeah.
not even running for reelection. Why do you
Yeah.
care?
What's your problem? What's
Why
your
do you care?
problem?
We all know who you're talking about. You're
Mhm.
subtweeting the
Just
president,
say
and
it.
you're subtweeting Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. Why don't you just say it? Why are you subtweeting?
And why isn't
yeah.
there? I mean, and maybe there was. Maybe I'm not assuming that there was or wasn't. But if I was a reporter, I would be calling his press officers, communications director, and being like, "Which leaders did the congressman was he referring to? Who was it?" And he's like, "Well, there no comment." Okay, well then, is this some sort of made up scenario or is this something that's really happening? I mean, that's another like ask him, call these people out. Like these people have no right. They are undeserving of their titles. And again, and we've talked about this on this show and other shows on Over It. And Congresswoman Ballant, who we interviewed from Vermont, talked about this. She said, "This is not my seat. It does not belong to me. I don't own it. It belongs to the American people, and I am here to serve the American people and the people of my district, my constituents, for as long as they want me to be here.
Mhm.
And I will do everything I can to do the right thing until they change their mind." And then, because she had a life before this. She had a career before she was a congresswoman. And that's the other thing is like these people are career politicians in the way that they don't know what else they would do with their lives if they weren't doing this.
But that's the thing, right? Like I know members of Congress who've lost their elections, and there are two types of them.
Mhm.
They're the ones who have a great life and don't miss it, or just left Congress, right? They're
Right,
the ones
right.
who have a great life, don't miss it, are just like, this is stupid. I don't, tired of the nonsense. And then there are the others who just cannot believe that they don't have a staff anymore and drivers and people to prep them every single day, and effectively people who wake up every morning and go to sleep every night thinking only about them and what is best for them.
Mhm.
And that's pathetic.
It is.
And let me tell you something. As somebody who used to work on the Hill and then no longer worked on the Hill, that place is toxic. I don't know why anybody wants to be there. If you're there to serve your country and do good things, then I'm all for it. And there are plenty of people who are down there for that reason. I mean,
Yep.
I can name names. There are members of Congress I know and senators who truly just love what they're doing because they're doing good work.
Yes.
I'll give you one example.
Congresswoman Ballant being one of them.
Congresswoman Ballant, my old boss, who I started my political career out with, Congressman Frank Pallone. He's been there since 1988. He's believe me, a career politician. That man's mission in life is to have healthcare for every American. Like that is why he's there. And also the environment. Like he truly has moved the needle in really great ways to do that. And that's why he's there. But there are others who just, and Don Bacon is such a good example of this. What is wrong with you? You're a fucking former brigadier general of the United States Air Force.
Right. Right.
You're scared of a bunch of Twitter trolls coming after you? If you're
Yes,
scared
they
about
are. People
you're-
really are.
or you're scared about your family's safety, if that's what you're scared about, then you should just retire. Just
Yeah,
don't even
resign now. Just
Resign
resign now. Like, get out now. Honestly, seriously. Do what Marjorie Taylor Greene did for whatever reason she did it. You know what I mean? But it's like, just do it.
do
Like, what are
it.
you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And it's, you know, are you afraid of a bunch of Twitter trolls? Yes, they are. They really are. I think they're more afraid of that than their own constituents.
And
And then,
like look at Don Bacon on the discharge petition with Epstein. Why wasn't he one of the 4 people that joined that discharge petition on the Republican side? What are you afraid of?
what are you so afraid of that you cannot stand up to pedophiles and child sex trafficking? My God. Honest to
And
God.
there's something like Brian Fitzpatrick in Pennsylvania, who represents Bucks County, Pennsylvania, the swingiest,
Yeah.
district. He keeps winning despite the fact that, he's another one of the Biden 12 or 18, whatever it is. Like, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's so infuriating because I cannot imagine just running, and also to like be in the House. You're running for reelection every 2 years, so you're constantly fundraising, you're constantly campaigning. It never ends. It's not easy, and that's why I'm like, why put yourself and your family and all these people through all of this for what? Like,
I don't get
and
it.
I don't get it either. And this is where, again, I look at people like Elise Stefanik, right, who's been in Congress since, I don't know, maybe 12, 14 years or something at this point. And she was going on and on the other day about like, I've never lost an election. I've never lost. I'm like, well, okay. All right. First of all, you came up here to an open seat.
Yeah.
With the help of Karl Rove and Paul Ryan. They made sure that they cleared a path for you in your primary in a deeply, deeply solid red district. Yep. And ever since then, and I don't mean any disrespect to my friend who ran against her, she's probably had the best chance of anybody, but she even herself said to me, you could be Jesus Christ and you would not win in that district if you were a Democrat. You just won't. And so Elise Stefanik, for her to be running her mouth saying these things, you want to talk about people who are cowards and does not care about her constituents whatsoever, has been a stepping stone for her to do literally anything else. She cannot stand this district. She never comes here. She hasn't had a public town hall in 6 years. And now she thinks that she's going to win downstate. I want to see Elise Stefanik go to a bodega in Queens. I want to see it, honestly.
All right. On that note, we have a show we have to do right now with Jeff Jarvis.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
So we got to go.
Yeah.
And that show, our show with Jeff Jarvis, which is now going to be on every Friday at 11. We are doing it right now because we all have stuff we have to do later. But that show will air at 11 a.m. Eastern today. It's our show about the media. So everything we just said about the media, we will continue to complain.
We'll be repeating and yeah.
So we got to run, and we'll see everybody right back here at 11 a.m. Eastern with Jeff Jarvis. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Bye, everyone. Like and subscribe. Bye.